makala ya Dunia ya Tatu na Robert Wanyonyi.
Hii ni Dunia ya Tatu. Mtazamaji mpendwa, takribani miezi miwili iliyopita tulishuhudia Chris Cassidy, Bob Behnken na vile Doug Hurley wakiwa wanasayansi wa kwanza kutumia chombo aina ya SpaceX Dragon wakiingia katika the International Space Station, na wamekaa kule takribani miezi miwili. Halafu tukaweza kuwaletea safari yao ya marejeo back to earth vile maneno yalivyokuwa. Na sasa Chris Cassidy hajapumzika, manake takribani wiki moja tu na nusu tangu wao kupata kurejea, Chris Cassidy amekuwa katika safari nyingine ambayo imeelekea tena katika the International Space Station, ambapo hii nayo basi chombo kimejulikana kama SpaceX Endeavour ambacho kimeondoka na kuelekea katika the International Space Station, na kwa kule basi watakaa takribani miezi 6 huku wakiwa wanafanya spacewalking outside the International Space Station, na vile wakifanya tu kupiga picha na kutuma back to earth ili kutueleza tu maneno namna gani yanaendelea kule. Basi tunaanza moja kwa moja na clip 1, ambapo hapa clip 1 tunaangalia tu matayarisho mbalimbali ambayo yalikuwa yanatendeka katika chombo kipya kabisa ambacho kimeondoka takribani wiki moja na nusu iliyopita, kikijulikana kama SpaceX Endeavour. Na unaona pale watu mbalimbali wamefika kushuhudia ile historical launch ya SpaceX Endeavour, na ni chombo kipya kweli ambacho kiko na 6 propulsion engines, na vile kina ile docking hatch ambayo iko different kutokana na zile zingine zote ambazo zimepata kuendelea kuelekea angani kule, na tena ina ile inajulikana kama astronauts working space ambayo ni kubwa sana kiasi. Na hatimaye wakishafika katika space pale, tutakuwa tunaonyesha jinsi the workings of SpaceX Endeavour inavyofanya kazi, vile inavyopitia mawimbi mbalimbali, vile inavyowasaidia wale maastronauts ambao wako pale katika safari hiyo kupata tu mandhari ambayo ni mazuri ya ardhi wakiangalia kutoka deep space kule, basi watakuwa na uwezo wa kuweza kuangalia. Na sasa tunazidi tu kuangalia matayarisho mbalimbali, tunaangalia pia sequence ya chombo vile kilivyo, na bila shaka ni chombo maridadi kweli, na ningependa basi kuachia kama dakika 3 hivi na nusu, dakika 3 na nusu ili tupate tu kuangalia sequence ya vile maneno yalivyopangwa kutoka mwanzo hadi nafasi ya wao kuondoka kuwa angani. Basi yote tapangwa katika sequence ukiangalia tu. Halafu unapata narration kutoka kwa Mike Kirkland ambaye ni mwenzangu kutoka kituo cha National Aeronautical Space Center ama NASA. Basi mtazamaji, tupate kupata hiyo sequence ya events leading to the launch of SpaceX Endeavour, na wakishafika angani kama wanaendelea na safari hiyo, basi tutakuwa basi tunawaonyesha clip 2 ambapo itakuwa inaonyesha tu the working of SpaceX Endeavour na maajabu gani ambayo yako ndani pale katika SpaceX Endeavour. Basi tunaangalia basi sequence of events katika hii clip ya kwanza ya NASA SpaceX Crew Endeavour launch. Basi tupate kutazama.
And those Falcon wing doors are closing. And essentially pull the vehicle in the transporter erector, which is the big white truss structure that you see there.
There they are, taken in the sight, craning to see the top of the Falcon 9 rocket.
I'm getting excited. They're ready to get in the vehicle, get in the elevator, and make it to the top.
And when they go in, and so right before they enter the vehicle, they'll remove the FOD covers off of their boots.
I know it really zips. That took them up to 255 feet in just a matter of seconds.
They're removing their FOD covers?
Looks like they were just maybe checking something on his boot or leg.
All right, so that was a detailed look inside Dragon. Here's a live look at 2 astronauts about to climb right in. If you're just now tuning in, you're watching our coverage of the mission known as Demonstration Mission 2 or Demo 2. 2 days, SpaceX and NASA are going to be sending people into orbit on a mission to the International Space Station from U.S. soil for the first time since 2011. Bob Behnken and Doug Hurley are the NASA astronauts flying today. And you can see them right there on screen. They are just right next to their ride up to space.
Just listening into the nets and hearing those updates live. But yes, once the FOD check is complete, they can enter, which is happening live on your screen right now. And as they climb into Dragon, they will buckle themselves in and attach their umbilicals to their suits. And as you can see, the suit techs are there to help them get buckled and settled into those seats. And as we mentioned earlier in the broadcast, the suit's primary function is to protect the crew in the event of a cabin depressurization. So the suits help keep them cool, as well as delivers nitrox in case there is a suit depressurization.
As we go through this, we saw Doug Hurley go in first. He's the commander for this mission. He's closest to your screen. And then Bob Bankin's just next to him, and they're going to get some assistance from these suit techs as they get in. There are 4 seats inside of Dragon for these missions, and they are numbered 1 through 4 if you're looking from the perspective of the suit techs inside the hatch, going from right to left. So Doug Hurley is in seat 2, that's the commander seat, and Bob Bankin is in seat 3, which for Crew Dragon's the pilot seat. And then obviously we don't have anybody in seats 1 or 4 today.
And they're now getting situated inside the capsule. Now the flight team is monitoring data from Dragon. They most recently have completed a command and telemetry check of the radio frequency system on Dragon through the tracking and data relay satellite network. That looked to go well. There are no issues in work as we watch the astronauts getting situated in their seats inside the Dragon spacecraft. We do expect that to improve slightly during the day, so fingers crossed there that the downrange weather looks good. But right now at T-minus 2 hours, 41 minutes, as the clock continues to count down, all systems are go for launch.
And again, we're just listening in. They're doing these comm checks, these communication checks. So Bob and Doug are going to do a series of these checkouts with the teams on the ground, both the Corps here in Hawthorne and the launch director out in Florida. And they're going to be doing this over Dragon to ground. And they're also going to be doing it over the countdown net. Those are the 2 main loops or nets that you're going to hear going out. All right, and confirmation the seats are in the launch position. Let's go down now to Gary in Mission Control Houston, where I know the entire JSC team is standing by and ready to see Dragon take flight today. Over to you, Gary. Before they do separation. So that's when the Dragon spacecraft will physically separate from the Falcon 9 vehicle, and Bob and Doug will be flying free.
Okay, we're at T-minus 2 minutes, 42 seconds. Stage 1 LOX load is closed out. Stage 2 will continue to load for about another half a minute or so. Once we get the completion of Stage 2 LOX loading, we have to vent down the line, so you'll see another large white cloud.
Stage 1 tanks pressing for flight.
T-minus 15 seconds. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Ignition. Liftoff of the Falcon 9 and Crew Dragon. Go NASA, go SpaceX. Godspeed, Bob and Doug.
America has launched. And so rises a new era of American spaceflight, and with it the ambitions of a new generation continuing the dream. 20 seconds into flight, stage 1 propulsion is nominal.
Mtazamaji, umepata kuangalia tu kuhusu sequence of events leading to the launch of SpaceX Endeavour to the atmosphere, to deep space, and finally to the International Space Station. Ni kituo ambacho kinazunguka mduara wa ardhi kwa safari kama 17 katika masaa 24. Kinazunguka katika maeneo mbalimbali ya dunia, na sometimes kinaweza kuwa kinapita angani ukashangaa labda ukafikiria ni nyota, lakini hiyo huwa the ISS ambacho ni chombo kinatembea kule juu na kiko na wanasayansi pale. Kimefitiwa kamera maalum kupata picha kila mahali kinaenda, na vile vile ni chombo ambacho kimekaa katika atmosphere kwa takribani miaka 24 sasa. na kinazidi kuzunguka tu kikizidi kulinganisha wanasayansi na sayari mbalimbali ambapo wanakuwa wanatua kule kabla ya kufika Mars, kabla ya kufika Pluto ama Saturn ama Uranus. Basi mwananchi yeyote ama mwanadamu yeyote atakuwa anapitia the International Space Station for preparations and then finally to be launched to outer space facing a different planet. Kwa hivyo mtazamaji, basi tuanze kupata clip 2, na clip 2 inatuonyesha wakiwa angani kule. Basi tunaanza kupata various controls za hiyo SpaceX Endeavour. Hebu tupate kutazama tukiwa tunasaidiwa pale na mwenzetu Chris Cassidy ambaye ni Station Commander Expedition 64 wa NASA National Aeronautical Space Agency. Chris Cassidy, Commander Expedition 64, unaweza endelea.
Bob's panning the camera back now, just kind of taking a look at around the cabin just to see how things look after a cruise lived in Dragon for an evening. We last night, the way things went, we had our normal activation, got out of our suits, had some a little bit of dinner, then reconfigured the cabin for orbit ops. Did a couple other events, including the media event last night, and then we proceeded to get ready for bed, which in space takes a little bit longer than I think on planet Earth. We had to pull out sleeping bags and sleeping clothes and all those kinds of things. Got kind of cleaned up, and then we ended up sleeping just like we are right now, right in our chairs, which was actually a pretty comfortable night's sleep. One of the things we did yesterday was actually manually fly Crew Dragon for the first time, and I want to compliment the teams at Hawthorne. Just a spectacular job with the simulator, as the vehicle flew exactly like the simulators out in Hawthorne. So just want to thank the teams that did all the work on that particular training device, as well as all the modeling and the GNC. It really worked out well and was a joy to fly. And I'm guessing it was the first time a space vehicle was flown with a touchscreen before. So we got that going for us. I'm going to hand the mic over to Bob.
Well, hello, folks. Welcome aboard the Dragon Capsule Endeavour. Doug and I had a good night's sleep last night. We were surprised, I think, at how well we actually slept aboard the vehicle. A little bit quieter than Space Shuttle, a little bit more, I guess, environmentally controlled. So we had didn't have CO2 pockets or things like that building up, giving us congestion, which was super awesome. He talked a little bit about the changing and going back and forth between our suits and our sleepwear and the clothes we're in now, and managing all those things. But we've managed to keep the ship pretty tidy at this point as we went through the night's activities and then got into our preparation for today. We did get our suits dried out, get them packed away into the black bags that are stowed in the outboard seats. You can, if you look closely, you can see we've got them strapped in with the regular straps that you'd use for riding into orbit, and then over against kind of that former window location, there is a, you can see Doug's sleep bag there next to his crew notebook, and so that's how we're keeping all of our laundry constrained floating all around today. Doug mentioned the manual flying and how well the simulator matched that. I'll tell you that for the ride uphill on ascent, they just are never able to capture that at the simulator. And so I think Doug and I were talking about all the observations that we had all the way uphill. While it was an exciting ride, I think we got a couple of minor surprises just in terms of the way the vehicle is kind of moving and shaking and taking you into orbit. You can tell that it's fighting against the Earth as it makes it sway into space, and that's just something a simulator can never truly simulate. We do have a friend on board with us. We introduced you to Trimmer yesterday when we did our little activity with the camera. Trimmer also had a good night's sleep. I know that both of our sons are pretty happy about that with their pet dinosaur making it into orbit and having a good night in zero gravity. We plan, once we get on board the space station, to reunite Trimmer with Earthy and plan to bring both of them back to Earth. I know that we'll get Trimmer through the safety brief and get all the education that's required so that we'll have a safe operation while we're on board the space station should anything come up that we need to be prepared for. I know that Trimmer's also looking forward to helping us out with EVA preparations just in case we need to do a spacewalk, and so we're looking forward to that as well.
2 minutes until LOS.
Let's see, I think we'll go ahead and bring the camera out a little bit and we'll show you what's going on underneath the seats on board the Dragon capsule Endeavour. We've got quite a bit of cargo that we'll be taking to the space station. We've got some hard racks as well. The hard stowage that we have can also be swapped, these hard containers here, for powered cargo, which lets us bring back refrigerated things from the International Space Station. And if you're super lucky, we don't have that this time, but I bet you some crew will take ice cream to the International Space Station with those. That'll be exciting for those crews to get to have that. We do have some emergency equipment labeled in red, which is nice to have and easy to see, as well as the other stowage bags that we have down here as well. I don't know if you were watching closely during our strap-in and insertion on the pad, but we did have the seats rotate at one point. We were down in an easier configuration to ingress the vehicle in, so when we climbed aboard, the seats were rotated down, and after we were strapped in, they rotated up our activities. And so those seats will rotate again in preparation for splashdown when we eventually come home. So if any of you all know Uncle Kirk Shireman, as we call him, you could ask him when we're coming home and make sure that he starts having a plan for us.
Well, we appreciate you having them coming on board again with us on Endeavour, and enjoyed showing you around both inside and out. The next time we'll be on video for you, we'll hopefully be on board.
Naam, bila shaka mtazamaji umepata kushuhudia various controls, various workings of SpaceX Endeavour, ambacho ni chombo maridadi kweli kweli, kikiwa ndani kimefitiwa kompyuta, matelevision, vitu mbalimbali tu za kuweza kuwasaidia wanasayansi hao kufanya utafiti wao na kutuma back to Earth. Na vile vile kando na SpaceX Dragon, chombo hiki cha SpaceX Endeavour kiko fitted na latest library na vile vile laboratory ambayo ina process all information kutoka space na kuzituma back to John F. Kennedy Space Center katika kituo cha NASA Florida, Marekani. Na wakifika hapo basi nao wanashare na sisi, wanashare na ulimwengu. Basi tunaletea makala kutokana na video ambazo wametupatia baada ya kuwa processed inside the International Space Station na inside kwanza kabla kufika kule katika hiki chombo kipya kweli kweli cha SpaceX Endeavour ambacho kina nafasi kubwa sana vile umetazama pale ndani. Kina uwezo wa kuwabeba abiria ama astronauts kama 6 hivi, lakini this journey ya hivi juzi kabisa kilikuwa kimebeba wanasayansi 2 ambao sasa wako katika International Space Station wakizidi kuzunguka tu katika mduara wa dunia, na yale yote ambayo watakuwa wanatuma basi tutakuwa tunawaletea katika makala haya ya Dunia ya 3. Iwapo una swala lolote labda ungependa tuangazie swala lolote tu mtazamaji, basi tuma ujumbe wako mfupi kwa nambari unayoona chini ya screen pale ambayo ni 40353, ama unaweza wasiliana na sisi kupitia kwa mtandao wetu wa Facebook Tandao TV Kenya, Twitter @Tandao TV Kenya, Instagram Tandao TV Kenya, na lilo kubwa zaidi ni kusubscribe katika YouTube page yetu ambayo inajulikana kama Tandao TV Kenya. Una subscribe na utakuwa unapata hizi habari zote ambazo labda hujaona katika runinga, utakuwa unazipata na kuzifuatilia at your own free time. Kwa niaba ya mpiga picha na mhariri wa makala haya Bilha Wafula, jina langu ni Robert Wanyonyi, na haya ni makala ya Dunia ya 3. Na makala ya Dunia ya 3 mtazamaji, yataendelea.
Makala ya Dunia ya 3 na Robert Wanyonyi.